Congregations are asking how to hold remote council or congregation meetings during this time of COVID-19 pandemic. There are 4 resources to guide you: your congregation's constitution, Robert's Rules of Order 11th edition, South Carolina state laws for nonprofit organizations, and an ELCA document on frequently asked questions on remote meetings. Become familiar with these resources. Legal counsel is recommended as you plan your meeting. An attorney can be helpful in determining state codes for nonprofits to hold virtual meetings even if they're not discussed in congregation constitutions. Maybe you have an attorney in your congregation, and if not, maybe there's an attorney in a neighboring Lutheran congregation. What I'm about to say in this video is available in a document attached online. A link is also provided. Constitution requirements. First, become familiar with your congregation's constitution. Review the requirements for a meeting of the congregation in Chapter 10. At least 1 regular meeting per year. If this is a special call meeting, specify the purpose. Will the purpose of the meeting be to adopt the budget or elect congregation council members? Give notice at worship 2 previous weeks. Electronic is worship. And by mail or electronic 10 days in advance of the meeting. The quorum required is different for each congregation. Robert's Rules of Order gives procedure. Simultaneous oral communication is essential to the deliberative character of the meeting. Voting members will need to be able to speak and to hear each other. Voting members. Who are your voting members? Look in Chapter 8 of your congregation's constitution. Confirm, communing, and making a contribution of record in the current or preceding calendar year. And in Chapter 12, the Congregation Council shall provide for annual review of the membership roster. Voting member lists for online meeting. Establish a voting member list for the online meeting. How do you establish the list? At a congregation council meeting, when a congregation meeting is called, the Secretary of the Council presents a list of voting members, and the council approves the list. Use this list when taking attendance at the online meeting and to determine a quorum. Once a list is approved by the council, objections to a particular voting member are out of order. Voting by proxy or by absentee ballot is out of order. Voting. When an electronic meeting is held, the South Carolina state law for nonprofits requires that written consent is needed from 80% of voting power. That is, 80% of those registered for the meeting to meet electronically. One way is to obtain an agreement before the meeting. This can be done in advance of the meeting with a statement from the voting members agreeing to participate in the meeting electronically. How are votes taken when electronic is used? Electronic balloting will vary in each congregation, depending upon demographic factors and internet access in the area. You may need to find a way to accommodate those persons who are lacking the access to technology to vote. Voting can also be done by written ballots. How are those votes taken when a written ballot is used? Written ballots may be dropped off in a defined time frame. Set a date and time for the ballots to be received and the balloting closed. For example, the ballots could be dropped off at the church on a certain day, say Monday, November 16th at 5 o'clock. Refer to the ELCA document provided titled Remote Frequently Asked Questions. Only members who attended the meeting and were marked present may vote. Ballots cast need not have names of voting members, but the name of the voting member will be needed to be written on the outside of the sealed envelope to verify presence at the meeting. We hope these resources will be helpful as you plan your remote congregation council or congregation meeting during this time of COVID-19 pandemic. These are challenging times, and we are all learning to do things in a different way.